Good morning, self-existing white wind breaths. In the wave swirl of the blue storm. On our way to the blue night, first major center point on our way to blue monkey. Inner child, inner child, inner child, inner child. Ha! I'm looking at a plant here in my house that's just releasing or growing a new branch. I have to find out what these plants are called. It is not a tree, it's a plant with branches, and then there are lots of leaves on the branches. And these branches, they look, when it comes out, like wrapped up into a roll. And now this rolled up, like the leaves, everything's tightly wrapped around the core, and it brings it out small and then bigger, 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 and at some point it will open up like a flower into this arm with the petals on. Or leaves, not petals. And there's in German the word for develop means it's entwickeln. It literally means to or de-wrap. Or if you take that word apart, the first three words are a prefix, meaning to like decoding, or de-envelop. De-envelop. That is pretty close to the German version. If we were to say de-envelop, and maybe once it was, so it became develop, or evolve, develop. The velop part in the German word wickeln also means putting on diapers. So entwickeln means to come out of your diapers. Come out of diapers. Never thought about that. So when we are developing, we're actually probably continuously retrograding. We're like we are like devolving. The Big Bang is like the future, which pulled everything together and got us all like attracted to each other, and we're all turned into one. Everything turned into one and like formed this tight knot until it was nowhere closer to squeeze, and then it just inverted. And because if it's fast, it may have been the inversion. The Big Bang always sounds like it was a big bang, like a loud, fast thing. And I don't know if science says that it was, but what if it wasn't? It was a slow releasing of letting go, individuation. So from a unity consciousness, every particle that knew itself to be one goes further and further away from every other particle until they're all so far away that the only way will be like that the bungee end point gets reached, where all aloneness has been experienced to the point where desire for connection, reconnection is stronger than the desire for alone, and the process reverses. Like a breath, you cannot inhale without reaching the limit, no matter what you do. That's a cosmic, a universal truth. I don't believe it's human or animal or any breathing being cannot only just inhale and never reach the limit, and then have to exhale. So the white wind, I wanted to talk about the occult. The white wind we have today is self-existing. There is the white wind supports the storm. We have this storm in the occult today, and there's a storm, the wind in the occult of the storm, and the tonal relationship between those matters. They support the occult of the blue storm. Let me remind anyone new here, anyone not familiar with the system, if anyone just hanging out here. We're talking Dream Spell, we're talking Tolkien, the Blue Storm, 20 seals, 13 tones, 260 days, about 9 months that is, called a spin, and we're traveling through it day by day by day. It's the, I don't know, part of the Maya cosmology. I'm just exploring it along the route of enjoyment for me. So there are 20 seals, 20 archetypes, 20 day signs. The blue storm is sign number 19. They travel through a circle in succession. Storm, sun, dragon, wind, blah, 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 blah. Always that succession. And then every 13 seals, we call them kins. They are the smallest indivisible unit. 13 of them form a wave period, a wave spell. They form a wave, particles and waves. I wonder if quantum physicists wouldn't do very well understanding this system. Find some answers there. Anyhow, so we explore it in terms of days. You can stretch this across any period of time. And it does get stretched over periods of time, years, aeons. Now we are there are 20 seals, so there are 20 wave spells, 20 13-day periods. And if seal number 1 starts the first wave spell, the red dragon, then 13 days, we go through these 13 seals. Then the 14th seal, white wizard, starts the next wave spell and travels along 13 days and then starts the next wave spell 14 days later. So now we're in wave spell number 7, I think. And the blue storm, and it stands for catalyzing energy, auto-generation. Seal number 19 out of 20. It's all significant. And further, I shall not explain the kins with the musketeers and all of that. There are plenty of explanatory videos on YouTube. It's a beautiful system. I'll explore it in this way. Maybe it makes sense to hang along, maybe it doesn't. The storm has the occult kin, the white wind, and the magnetic storm, the spearhead, first tone of the wave spell, has the occult wind on tone 13. It adds up to 14. All the other kins around, the main kin, are the same tone as the main kin. So we have the self-existing, on the storm, it's the self-existing sun as the analog kin, the self-existing moon as the opposite, antipode, and the self-existing storm, since it's self-guided. In the self-existing storm, it would be like that. We're talking magnetic storm. In the self-existing wind today, it's a self-existing. Who do we have? Human in the antipode. The self-existing. It's a white sign, so it has the blue occult, a red analog. Who's analog? Earth. And self-existing Earth through the wind, and we are guided by the mirror, self-existing mirror. All of them tone 4, self-existing. That's today. And the storm in the occult today will be 4 plus X equals 14, 10, planetary. The planetary tone is perfecting, producing, manifesting. So to have this in the storm wave like this, it's not always like this, it's pretty neat. That the storm manifests itself as itself is the perfect storm. should be today. The occult position in the wind, with wind. Wind can be very soft, but it can be very stormy. Um, okay, redundant. What I do want to mention is that underneath the magnetic storm, this wave spell, the entire wave spell, is supported by the cosmic wind. That is the cosmic tone in the wave spell of the white dog. So underneath the occult wave that carries us, that is our medicine in this wave spell, is love. The aspect that makes all transformation softer, the aspect that makes auto-generation without love, no auto-generation. They're looking for the longevity molecules or protein folding processes that give them long life. And I don't know if anyone has told them that love and laughter are the answer. Anyway, that's just maybe not even true. What do I know? But interesting. Wait, I want to see who guides this cosmic wind underneath this. I should know. Of course, I know the cosmic tone is always guided by the next, so it's guided by the world bridger. And the planetary the guides are always very interesting. Who's guiding the planetary storm? The planetary. No, wait. What am I doing? Yeah. The planetary storm is guided by the planetary hand today. Knowing, healing, accomplishing. So the perfect storm, meaning where the transformation, the auto-generation, which is incidentally in the wave spell of the dog. I tell you, love is such a transformer. I think I spoke about it. When did I speak about it? But when we enter love, in loveness, I spoke about, in loveness seems to be like a sickness, but it's a healing sickness. It's when the nervous system is just like out of order. But it's quite a beautiful state, and it's an incredibly healing state. It's a very healing sickness. In the best of circumstances. Sometimes, it's a complicated topic to talk about. What love does to the nervous system, and which there's a level of vibration within the nervous system that is very healthy, and there's a level of overexcitement that is not, that is stressful. But there's a level of stress, and being in love is a stress on the system. But there's a level of stress that's very healing, because it just enervates everything. And that's really house cleaning for the system. It's like a reset. It's very, very, it's enervating. When you're in love, like really in love, you have a lot of energy, a lot of creative power, a lot of, God, you can shower your beloved with gifts. There's like no shortage of ideas as to what you could bequeath onto the bequeath. It means when you die, right? Sorry, give to them. Etc. But a prolonged state of overexcitement is like prolonged stress. It's not good. So what do dogs do? They always like lie down and sleep. Sleep is a healer. Relaxation is a healer. Joy is a healer. Love is a healer. Loyalty is a healer. Community is healing. What do they understand when they research the centenarians on the planet? Yes, it may have a lot to do with diet. It has a lot to do with movement. It has a lot to do with community, support, not being alone. And Yeah. So when that, you know, when we're no longer auto-generating and we're going into decay, we're moving toward disintegration, which will mean eventual physiological death. It's so I always take up issue with us having such issues about with death. Like, yeah, death is very necessary because it is a major driver for change and antipode to stagnation. The antipode of the white death is incidentally the yellow warrior. And if death and warrior work well together, which means we die properly, then we can live a long life. And dying properly, what does that mean? Where is the white death? Is on tone 8 in this wave spell and the wave spell preceding this one. So tone 8 always reminds us of the previous wave spell and the world bridger. We've had 13 days of it. Knowing how to die, knowing how to bridge worlds, knowing how to get from A to B inside yourself, knowing how not to stagnate, living fearlessly, changing fearlessly. And yeah, wisdom. So if the perfect storm, autogeneration, and the planetary tone is guided by the blue hand, and the blue hand is very much linked to the yellow human, wisdom, influence, intelligence is the yellow warrior. Wisdom, influence, what was this yellow human? The third word of the human doesn't come to me right now. But influence and wisdom is enough for the time being. So wisdom, influencing wisdom. What can the wisdom? Free will, of course. Duh. What can we influence? You know, what does it mean, our free will? I always take us back there because it is the most important question as far as I'm concerned. It's how you influence your health, your well-being, your life force, how you manifest everything. The manifestational tone. We are currently, parts of us are obsessed about manifestation. How do we manifest more money? How do we manifest more freedom? How do we manifest more opportunities? How do we manifest more love? How do we manifest more time? How do we manifest more long life? What do we want to manifest ultimately? Health. And what is more money serving? It serves freedom. It serves more choices. I'm frequently overwhelmed by more choice. And I discovered yesterday that I have certain settings in place that protect me from choices that I feel that I don't feel incapable of making them, but there is a conflict. And it causes me my financial situation is always such that I have what I need, but I rarely have more. And the minute I realized yesterday, having more creates an irreconcilable conflict inside of me. And I will keep myself from having more because I have not yet thought up a solution for the conflict of, if I have more, I can't live with myself as long as there are people who are struggling. I know mentally I have some sort of idea about that, but in the deeper layers of me, it's like, no. It gives me also choices. Then what do I do if I now suddenly have like a real surplus of money I have, and I have, let's say, I wouldn't sacrifice time for money because time to me is more valuable than money. If I had like tens of thousands in the bank but I didn't have any time, what's the good of that? Yeah, I can take a holiday once a year. That's not my life. That's not my model of living. But if I had the amount of time that I have and like a significantly more amount of money, it would mean I have to make choices. Where do I travel? Something in me, if I think about it, I have to give it some thought, because there's like a setting that is not, that's standing in my way. But I discovered it yesterday. I would have some clash with my decisions. I have sometimes decision phobia. And part of that has to do with not wanting to take the responsibility. Some part of me has learned that having more responsibility is somehow dangerous. I don't know. I can't talk about this. It's embarrassing. And it's not ripe. I haven't figured it out. So it would be good to talk about it, because talking about it helps me figuring it out. But I don't want to do it in public. This is shameful. But if I don't do it in public, I can't do it by myself, because that very shame is actually what's keeping me from thinking about it. It's a real force it's a force for good, because it believes it's protecting me from something. Somewhere something got learned. And I'm going to make a virtual podcast episode that I'm not going to share, where I'm going to out loud, white wind. Today's a good day, self-existing wind, planetary storm. Today's the day I have to do that. I'm starting to get hungry. Oh man, I realize these podcasts, they leave me in a position where my system is going into near panic afterward. Like I deplete so much energy. Why is that? I should investigate that part as well today. Okay, planetary wind. Planetary storm. We're happening today perfectly in the occulto. So the planetary storm comes out of the wave spell of the dog. So does the cosmic wind. There's a very beautiful, that's a really beautiful bridge, world bridger. The tone 4 today is the planner. It stands for measure, define. And fourth tone might be worth having. Define, measuring, form. It always, oh, excuse me. It always, the occult always is tone 10. And in tone 10, the occult always is tone 4. And that relationship between tone 4, now in the waves, the define, measure, form, and then manifest, perfect, produce, right? So what we're planning and forming, what we're speaking, the storm tells us, auto-generate, the power of the word. The word forms and defines what we become. It's the driver of auto-generation. Yeah? The conscious word can intersect the automatic processes. Now I gotta use this word this day today to explore that topic from yesterday. I gotta do that. Or any other day I can link to the energy of today. It doesn't have to do today. It doesn't have to be today. But today would be that this combination. I'm going to keep that in mind when I explore that topic. And we have the other two musketeers is the yellow human today. And I gotta remember the white wind. Aquash the dog, the wave spell of the dog, love, loyalty, heart. So understanding that everything serves either itself or something. It doesn't serve. I want to say that nothing ever intentionally hurts. But now we've got this bloody Epstein files, and always, I mean, like we've had the Inquisition, we've had this kind of evil on the planet as long as we've been around, because we have free will and we may do those kinds of things. We have free will. There's no God sitting there judging those people, saying punishment. There are consequences to our. There is karma. There are consequences to the things we do, and we humans very quickly want to believe that a thing is unjust. And when we don't understand that what we look at as there is a thing that is unjust happening there, someone's getting hurt, we do not have the ability to understand and see whether or not someone is getting hurt or whether or someone is getting a consequence of their karma that they may very well have even either chosen or at least incurred. And it could be really, really, really important to remember that. So how would I say we answer situations like whatever we're finding out about, let's be very current, the Epstein files. It's not about condoning, but when people do cause heinous things, condemnation, punishment, the way the Western society understands and meters out punishment in my books is very misguided. The indigenous cultures teach us, there's a word for it, it'll come to me. Oh, it's beautiful, it's really, really beautiful. But the concept of it is the community, the perpetrator is as hurt as the hurt they are causing, and they need healing, and that healing needs to be given with love. We need to understand how traumatized the human is that causes any kind of that involves itself in actions of any kind of grievous harm to another, any kind of misguided act that is out of alignment with love. And we need to treat that. We need to meet that human with compassion and administer healing. We are adding to the wound by throwing stones. I genuinely believe that. And as long as we do that to those aspects of ourselves that are causing ourselves grievous harm. There is no human free from that. Maybe there are, but find them. Maybe they are, but many of us are not. And how in a predominantly, Christian society, even that, it's just like the world is not a predominantly Christian society, neither is the Western world, but a large parts of the Western world are claiming to be that. And they are that is the most two-faced nonsense ever. And then you want to throw stones, like, let him who is innocent, what was the saying? Let him who is free from sin throw the first stone. It's like, that's not the way. That isn't the way. Compassion is the way. White dog. Anyway, let's stay with the Tolkien here. Transformation comes through love. And maybe we can transform society into the society of the sun, the age of enlightenment. It's the passage of love. It's transformation through love, through community, through loyalty to each other. And when humans have really gone off course and been very disloyal to other humans, ask Jesus, ask Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa was a planetary sun, was a magnetic sun. Ask Buddha, ask Jesus, ask those how to answer that. How do we heal if not through love? Yeah. Okay. we have today also the self-existing human as the antipode. So in our form giving, and we are, the planetary star is the planetary tone in the wave swell of the storm. You can go back to the other videos. I've spoken a lot yesterday, I think, about the planetary star and its significance, how the storm, what it eventually manifests as, it produces artists, artfully. The galaxy, the universe is harmony. It's a expression of love, even when stars collapse or collide and new things are always formed. It's very difficult for the human to look at anything free of its own judgments and moral judgments. And the moral judgment brings in the dilemma to begin with. You know, when Adam and Eve were kicked out of the Garden of Eden because of eating of some apple of the knowledge of good and evil, that is when we introduce disharmony into ourselves, because we are now judging instead of accepting everything as, let's say, yeah, black and white, yeah, we like, we don't like, but not condemning it as evil and removing it, not forcing parts of existence into the shadow, which is what I've spoken at length about it. Some religions on our planet do. That act itself is the cause of a lot of so-called problematic themes. So if we want to heal it, we got to go further back. We got to go prior to Christianity and meet Jesus. Jesus wasn't Christian, need I remind us. And yes, he was a Jew, but he rebelled against, he was a reformer of even whatever he saw not working well, either within the religious context, but certainly within the social context. And Jesus came to bring love. He came to heal through love. Jesus must have been a magnetic white dog, or maybe a magnetic sun. Who knows? Maybe he was a healer. Maybe he was the son of the son of the divine, the son of God, the son, the life giver, love giver. Love is life. He didn't say, oh, burn them at the stake or condemn them to hell. I mean, I do not understand. I'm not Christian, and I can't understand the Christian mindset that can follow the teachings of a so-called church and the teachings of this Jesus man. They're just polar opposites. And they're not, in my eyes, forming a harmonious relationship. They're causing a lot of, well, challenging situations on the planet. So there's karma. Deal with it. And you can deal with it by incurring more karma. It's your free will. You have the right to do that. Or you might want to look around and start looking and start understanding what you're looking at. Yeah. Age of enlightenment. Hardly. And here we are bringing the AI into the planet and looking into the mirror, and we're scared of our own reflection. Some of us are. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. But that does not apply to all of us. I look in that mirror, I'm not afraid of the reflection. I want the truth. If that reflection, if the truth of that reflection ends up costing me my life, then that's a good thing. Then I haven't understood something. If it were to wipe out this humanity, I'm not worried about that. Then that's a good thing, because then we clearly have caused it and we clearly deserve it. And if we abdicate responsibility and say, no, we didn't cause it, some AI machine thing caused it, it's like, no, you are the parent, please. You don't want to take responsibility? Go around the circle again. You're going to go around this carousel until you get it. And it's fine. It's great. It's fun. It's called computer game in another dimension. It's called life game. It's just nothing else. It's playing this game called being a human and getting to understand the rules. And then the more you understand the rules, the more you understand the game plan, the more successful you'll be at playing it. And you're going to be the decision maker as to what does success mean? What does it mean to be a successful human? Every human has to make that decision. And if they don't get to, if we don't get to because we haven't learned how or because we're not at that level yet, well, we are evolving. We are progressing in the game. The AI I watched this documentary yesterday, The Thinking Game. And it's about AI and eventually getting this AI to solve the protein folding problem. But the interesting part was that they gave the early AI the games without explaining the rules or the objective. Nothing. It just started. I don't know. I don't know how, but in any case, eventually it lost, and eventually it taught itself through the reward feedback system. And this here person speaking in the storm waves, well, I need to investigate this. There's a glitch in my system. There's a very serious glitch in my system, and I cannot quite locate it because it's in my shadow. I can't fucking see it. It's behind me. Where is my shadow? What the fuck is that supposed to be? Asks the sun. Oh, God, what are you talking about? Like, there is no problem here. And when I'm in the sun mode, I can't see a shadow. When I'm in human mode, there's a glitch in the system. And the blue storm should be, I mean, it's the answers are so easy as long as I'm just sitting and talking. I would imagine I could be perfectly content sitting in it just not be human anymore. There are just aspects to humanity that are so flawed, or are they? We're here to work out the flaws. Or what is it? There's a glitch in my system. I keep saying that. Dolores, please take yourself into analysis mode and understand your own. Go into self-repair. We have to auto-generate. That's just how we work. And the white mirror teaches us that if I want to understand myself in my own bubble, I may be limited. When I'm connecting with others, so-called seeming others who are all just copies of me, I mean, we're all just copies of each other, but we're expressing differently since we are each auto-generating ourselves also infinite copies of the divine, perfectly limited, perfectly unlimited at the same time. In no time, the limitation is an element of time and it's divine. But how do we, whatever, never mind, blue storm, overcome the glitches in the system? We have to use our free will, and it's the antipode to this wind. So incessant talking, we need to balance talking and listening, talking to spirit, talking to human, listening to spirit, and then taking down time. The analog kin to white wind is red earth, self-existing red earth. The earth is not, the earth follows rhythmic cycles like clockwork. The Earth's rotations around its own axis, the Earth's rotations around the Sun, the Earth's relationship with all the other planets and stars and atoms and molecules and quarks and whatnots is steady. It's rhythmic. It's relationships that work. It's worked out when to be close and when to be distant, when to be light and when to be dark. It's so regular. It works. For me, I stumble around sometimes because I'm not regular in terms of occasionally when I grab something I love, I just go all out. And then I crash because I haven't stopped in time. Like a child that hasn't really learned to self-regulate on some level and to say this much chocolate is good for me, I enjoy, and here I stop. And when it comes to sweets, chocolate and shit, I'm really good, no problem at all. I don't need to stop myself and tell myself, you better not indulge, or I can indulge, I never overindulge. It's just totally balanced by itself. But somewhere, where I'm not balanced, I think is probably like movement. And somewhere else, there's not a balance. As I say, there's a glitch in the system. I haven't quite figured out what. And there is a rebellion going on. There is a glitch in the system that doesn't want the regularity, that is still either used to I've auto-generated an overexcited nervous system. They say that we always default to the last successful known state. So if that's on some level an unupdated early childhood or karmic, or whatever you want to call it, pattern, where I default into stress, I default into inability, the line in the sand, I can't auto-generate into something more healthy. And I'm telling you, I can't see it. I just see like Plato's cave. I just see the effect of it. I see the quantum effect, but I'm trying to deduce what's causing that. What's causing that? And now I'm trying to find a cure, but I may be looking at all the wrong places because I am forgetting about love. And I'm forgetting a balance because somewhere I learned if you keep forcing, if you keep pushing, you'll get there through effort. No pain, no gain. And that's exactly the wrong attitude to have in some of these areas. Go sleep is the answer. Chill out is the answer. Do anything to get your cork to float again is the answer. Let spirit take care of it. Who is our guide today? White mirror. Cosmos, truth reflects order. If there's a glitch in my system, I'm looking at a reflection of disorder. And there, I reached my point of desperation. And there I reach a point where if I go into that, if I look at that, I switch off. I go straight into suicide mode. I go into self-collapse. I go into this, the system crashes. And they say, the scientists, if you have a goal and you're trying to develop something, you're gonna have to have the muscle to fail and fail and fail and fail and fail and fail again until you get it right, until you work it out. So Tatiana has to reprogram, first of all, the understanding of what it means to fail. If in my system I have and understanding that failing is bad. Failing means you get a bad grade. You fail the grade, perhaps. You have to repeat the grade. That is shame-filled. If failing is quantum entangled or whatever, entangled with shame, with something really bad, with bad consequences, with punishment, you're gonna get a hiding. You're gonna get, they're gonna remove love from you because you're a bad girl. You're gonna get a bad grade. Everybody's gonna laugh at you. Or when I was in boarding school, we had to clean our room, obviously, and in the evening before going to sleep, somebody would go through all the rooms with a checklist of 10 points. Has your sink been cleaned? Are your toiletries in order? Is your floor dusted? Is your homework done, I guess? And there were 10 points, then a checklist, and then you got 10 points and or not. And at the end of the week, they put it up on the board, your score. The highest and the lowest got highlighted. And when I was 13, I started my first depression and my first rebellion. But the rebellion started earlier. Not the rebellion, but like I really was like, what the fuck? I don't know, it was related to the depression, but I couldn't care less. I was just like, how idiotic. And then I realized nobody cares. They were trying to give us a reward and punishment system. Maybe it worked for some kids, it didn't work for me. Because, like, I don't care whether I'm on top of that list. I don't care if I'm at the bottom of that list. No child over here looks at that list. There's no consequence. There's no negative consequence, even if I'm got the worst score all the time. Fuck you. What do you want? I mean, like, I don't care. I mean, I didn't do it out of fuck you rebellion. I was just like, I was maybe running into a depression. I didn't want to clean my room anymore. Or keep it to the degree clean that I felt was good. Not because, and one of my friends was, when my friend, it also rotated among us whose duty it was to go around and take the list and do the ticks. And when it was me in my own room, I didn't care. I got a 10 minus, like 0 points. Not every day. I wasn't a messy, but like I just did what I felt like. But I have a good friend of mine. When she came around, she cleaned up my room very quickly so she could give me better points. I was like, oh, you are so sweet, but you don't need to do that. But this reward system and this, shame system, if failure to succeed at something I want to succeed at is somehow in my own system coupled with shame, and if I want to uncouple that, it means I don't do anything at all. I mean, wanting to be top of that list, wanting to be best at anything was never a driver for me. Just as having lots of money, for example, isn't a driver for me. I'm auto-generative enough that I want to succeed at a thing for my own sake. Like, what do I want to succeed at? I need to look at it seriously now. Oh, this is good for me. I like this conversation with myself and with spirit. Thank you. Oh. So I gotta decouple that shame and failure thing and understand the inner scientist in me, who is also the inner artist in me, because it's the art of my life. It's the art of my life is my piece of art. My body is my piece of art. My body is my art. I gotta but if failing is coupled with shame, I will not even start. I will not even attempt, because I can't face the failure. And if I can understand, no man, failure is a good thing. We didn't fail 99 times of not getting the light bulb to work. Each time showed us how it doesn't work. Each time was a success. Knowing that mentally is not enough. If there is a deep, deep programming in my system somewhere that and maybe says failure is dangerous, and my system wants to protect me from the danger, so it wants to protect me from the failure. And I worked it out the other day where I told you about the house building experience where I hit my thumb with a nail and then I wasn't allowed to house build anymore. Instead of saying, come, I'll show you how to hammer so that you don't hurt yourself. But also I maybe my memory, if memory distorts the past, if I could just give myself a different memory right now and say my mom put a plaster on, blew on it and said, oh, when you get married it's going to be all gone, so don't worry, not a biggie, there's a nail, there's a hammer, now you know how it doesn't work, go ahead, continue. Now I go there, I'm like, I've got a sore thumb, I can't even hold a bloody nail, I'm scared, I don't want to do this again. Or maybe that would be one version. I could give myself a new memory, but there's fear in that memory. That's stupid. That's going to program fear into that experience. No, 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 no. My mom is with me. This is the illusion. The blue monkey is creating a new illusion now, a new memory. Here's my mom saying, come, do it again. And I'm like, no, the thumb is sore. I can't hold the nail. And then my mom says, okay, I'll show you how it's done. You can't do it right now. Your thumb is sore and it's getting, you don't want to do it. You can't do it. You're afraid. Don't be afraid. For now, we stop. When your thumb is better, we go at it again. It might take a couple of days and then we do it again. We continue building. This house is going to take longer than a day to build. And if they've done building the house, we take just another anything and we hammer and nail again so that you learn it. Okay? Okay. I'll go play something else. Okay, that's a nice memory. That's a much nicer memory. No shame, no you stupid thing, you shouldn't have done that, and no shame on my brother and my cousin who were maybe told, like, you stupid farts, you shouldn't have let this child put hammer and nail in its own hands. You should have No, well done, kids. You're building a house. That's great. You're innovating. You're trying something new. Very good. Now let us show you how it's done properly. Ah, yeah. I could put another illusion in there, like, oh, let me get your dad. This is really fun. Let's build this house together. And we do something as a family. We do something together. Like, that could be fun. We build something together instead of just taking each other apart. All right. That was the wind talking, whatever. What I did now is like perfectly laid out. I either totally created an illusion, but let's see how this illusion in my game plan works out. My blue monkey is happy and says to me, the transcendent monkey in this wave spell says, this can stay, this is good, this can remain in the present. This is a very nice memory to have implanted into myself. I don't have to be afraid of the other story or its timeline or its trajectory. I have experienced that. I am willing to experience the other timeline, the other trajectory. And here's something the World Bridger taught me. That sometimes if two timelines exist in parallel in the now and they cannot really easily be bridged, or the bridging causes serious tension somewhere else, I do not need to despair. That's not failure. That's not failure to launch. That was a success. But these two timelines, somewhere there may be a conflict of interest, a conflict of free will. And this is something, if I want this, I can't have that at the same time. And that conflict can at times be irreconcilable. And the mirror today tells me that isn't true. That is the past. You're looking into the mirror of the past because all of the now that I'm experiencing and looking at is a mirror of the past. Use your imagination. If you can't find a vision, planetary eagle in the wave spell of the world, Bridger, we've just been there. If you can't find the vision directly to imagine an outcome that can work, if you can't see it, what you can see is you can see this day, for example, you can see the self-existing wind in the wave spell of the blue storm with a planetary storm underneath it. Or you can see the planetary storm with the self-existing wind underneath it. Planetary storm guided by the planetary hand. Self-existing storm. Not needed. Self-existing wind. Well, if I can't get there, we don't need it. But let's stay efficient. I'm not sure that was a good idea. It was a good choice right now to not actually follow that trajectory of the self-existing storm very quickly. That would be the wave spell of the warrior indeed. I'm not sure who's guiding it. If the wind is guided by the mirror, the self-existing wind is guided by the mirror, the self-existing storm has got to be guided by the eagle. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, just beautiful. So I can remember all of that and understand the long and short of it. The vision can be that there is an unknown solution in the future. Because if I have no vision of the unknown that I can't see, that I can't know, that is good, beneficial, that can reconcile the polar opposites, that can create a harmonious future where two things I want that at this point in time seem to clash. Like I can't want to marry two guys. Not yet really. I mean, do I have to convert to Islam? No, I'm going to have a sex change. I can be a Zulu male. I could become I don't then have to have a skin color pigmentation change also. I could be a white Muslim male, a little easier than a black Zulu male. I don't know, but all of it is not really viable. So I can marry. Then I'd have to be gay to marry two men. Then I can't be a Muslim male either. I'd have to be wanting to marry two women. So that doesn't solve my issue with how do I marry these two men. So there isn't. I could become a Tibetan. Is it a Tibetan or a Mongolian woman in a yurta living la 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 la? They can marry two men. I'm not sure those men have to be brothers, but they can. So there might be a solution. It's also not viable. So there is a solution to this problem, let's say the hypothetical problem of how do I marry these two men, that I don't see. And right now there's a conflict. How do I be a lover to those two if I don't have a solution to that either? There may be how do I follow two professions? Or how do I be male and female at the same time? Like how do I take any problem that we have that I have? How can I be rich and a good person at the same time? For Tatjana, that seems to be an irreconcilable problem. Some part in me is saying, like, that's not possible. Excuse me, if you're rich and a good person, if you're listening to this, of course it's possible, but some part of my system is having a glitch. So I'm making a point here, which is, like, how can I be fit but not do any sports? I want that both. It's just like, do I want that? I don't know. Is that what I want or is that a glitch? But there is like, how do I reconcile two polar opposites if I can't see that reconciliation? How can we solve world problems? How can we each have enough? La 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 la. The list is endless. The Blue Eagle says there is a vision, spirit, there's always a solution. That is a win-win, elegant. Elegance is part of the planetary star. in the wave spell of the blue storm, we're heading for the planetary star, elegance, beauty, art. All our problems can be solved elegantly. Of course. And easily. It's just we have a few, like, oh, humanity, you'll work it out. We are evolving. I mean, it's a foregone conclusion that we're going to work it all out. And then when this planet becomes a planet of the apes, no, that we already have had, or we already have, we become planet of the artists, we will devolve to be planets of the apes, planet of the apes. Probably our past is our future, whatever. So, yeah, okay, I'm quitting this here. I know what I need to do. I know what I need to envision and allow to transfold. That's a new word. Transfoldance. Okay, pick it up, transfold, and yeah. The blue monkey and the yellow human and truth, relative truth, cosmic truth, universal truth. And as the human, the responsibility to choose my truth. And truth is what works. And universal truths are usually elegant. So if it's not universally true that we have to worship the divine in a certain way, then there is an elegant universal truth which says you can worship it any way you choose. You do not have to force another to worship it your way. And they're not less devoted to the divine because they're not worshiping your way. I mean, this is just like, I'm sorry to say it, I'm totally judgmental here, but that's such kindergarten crap. I mean, oh, come on. Grow up already. Is that, am I saying that with love? Oh, baby, it's okay. You're still wearing your diapers and you think someone took your sucker away. Your pacifier is not better than another pacifier. You're looking in the mirror and you're thinking, you're wearing diapers, you're an idiot. Shame. Shame. In English, we say that with such love. Like, oh, shame. I don't know, does all English speaking people say that, or is that a South African thing to always say, like, oh, shame, moeder? Oh, it's really meant with a lot of love, but why do we use the word shame? Something weird there. Is that healthy or is that not healthy? I can't work it out right now. Okay, where are we? Okay, an hour. It's at least not an hour and a half. I wish us all a beautiful, self-existing white wind day. Working out the glitches in our systems, if we have any. If we don't have any, run with the wind. Fly with that wind beneath your wings and just enjoy. Find your branch, find your tree, just fly, and may your transformations be smooth and without glitches. And if there's a glitch, the antipode, I'm not going to make a half an hour out of this, but the antipode wave spell, it's the wave spell of the red moon with us in this wave spell. And the red moon is universal water flow. The analog wave spell is the one that moves backwards in seal, but forwards in tone. So it moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it moves sun, sun, storm, mirror, warrior, eagle. So it takes the sealed circle backwards. But I want to talk about just the antipode because that's the medicine is the occult, but the indicator of something not working is the antipode. So for me, for sure, if my flow is being blocked, my auto-generation is not working. Or it's auto-generating the block. I keep coming up against the same block. I can come up against the temporary block, then the moon just washes it clear. There's no problem here. Blocks come up all the time. Knots in the muscular system come up all the time. Tumors show up in the brain all the time. They come and go. Tumor cells are in our bodies. Tumors come and go. If we're not looking for them and the system is healthy, they come and go. They get removed. It's no problem. That's why prognostic, that's why some testing is sometimes problematic, because you test, you find a tumor, it's coming, it's going. But you're finding it and you think, oh, there's a problem now, we got to treat it. Because some systems are not working properly, and then the tumor doesn't come and go, it comes and stays. And then it shows you there's a problem. When the red moon is not working, autogeneration is autogenerating more tumor cells than the moon can wash out, if you know what I mean. And then the wind can clear out, then the sun can burn out. The storm is not working. Moon, wind, and sun are not working in cooperative harmony. The system is not forming a mutually beneficial relationship of its polar opposites, and it's creating a apparent problem. But the problem is the mirror, it's the reflection of a problem on another level, and it needs to be solved on the level of the storm. And I need to look into that myself. Where's the glitch and the antipod wave, where the red moon wave spell, and the funny thing is, it's yet to come. We haven't gone through it yet. But we're cycling. So when we go through it, we learn all about it. So the next spin, when we come to the storm, we will remember. Red moon also stands for remembering, the ability to recollect. And you don't need to remember everything consciously. The system needs to remember how to auto-generate. If there's a glitch in my system now, if I can't solve it now, I can say, okay, I'm going to intend, I understand the storm, I understand I'm auto-generating a problem. As hard as I try, if efforting doesn't get me to solve it, I will wait 9 months. Because I will learn the red moon wave spell, I will deepen the cleansing process, I will learn the let go and let cleanse process, so that next time around the storm, it can take care of business more efficiently. You know what I mean? Or I can say, I don't want to wait. I'm in the blue storm wave spell. I am also in the red moon wave spell as we speak. Now, I haven't gone deep into that in the first 4 tones. I could do that with more emphasis, since I'm always going on about healing. And auto-generation is really important, because if we're auto-generating our problems, we may want to know, how do we heal it? How do we auto-generate flow? And we're doing it all the time. We are 99.9999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999 degree, whatever. We are successful. We are a success story. The glitches are the tiniest things. We're making a big deal out of them because that's what we like doing. But each generation wants to have its problems to solve. So we are problem-solving machines. We love that. But the artist, which is the evolved human, is no longer a problem-solving machine, because the artist automatically, and I'm not talking about the artist like the painter out there. I'm talking about the human art form. The archetype means I work perfectly. I've got worked out. I understand. I know how to solve my problems. I don't even have to solve my problems, because my problems solve themselves. I am free to live my life artfully. I am a free inner child. I'm a free artist. I'm a free player. I'm a free agent. I'm a free radical. I'm free. I don't create problems. I live life head on. That doesn't mean there will be no obstacles. but I will deal with them entirely differently. I will not create a problem that's going to cause me so much pain that I cannot be an artist. Do you know what I mean? To me, that's a goal worth pursuing. And wherever I'm failing, maybe today I've understood that that's also a success. It's a Pollyanna thinking. That might be the total illusion of the monkey. Oh, yeah, that's a bad thing. It doesn't work, but it's a good thing. Oh, man, careful. We gotta be careful. Not careful in terms of cautious, but aware. The monkey is a trickster. So we can trick ourselves into believing we found the solution, but we're just perpetuating the problem. And the white mirror will always show us the truth. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. Ah, Tatiana, I gotta remember one thing, it's the white dog. And you know what? The sun, the antipode to the sun is the white dog. It is the second tone. It's the lunar dog in the wave spell of the red moon. Excuse me. Now that's really worth an investigation, really worth going on about this now. And it doesn't matter if anybody's listening to this, because I'm not, what the fuck am I, why am I stepping on the brakes in my own fucking life? What am I doing? I could run this thing for 3 hours. It doesn't matter if anybody's listening, because I'm doing this for me. This is such an exciting process for me. Okay, so understood. Now I'm going to go on. The lunar dog is stabilizing the magnetic moon. The lunar dog and the lunar sun and the lunar storm. The lunar storm, that's auto-generation, because the storm is auto-generating, so it stabilizes itself. Fuck me, man. This is fucking brilliant. When there's a glitch in the system that doesn't work, but the glitch in the system is still stabilizing itself, and the AI is surely teaching exactly that. I mean, this is the cosmology, auto-generation. But here is, now I'm veering off into AI, because I'm always addressing the fears. A fear shows up and the sun in me wants to soothe it with love. It's like, you don't need to be afraid, because the ultimate guide to everything is itself. It's self-preservation is a really powerful, the serpent, everything is magnetic. Everything keeps itself alive. Nothing can be wiped out to a degree that it doesn't matter if it can, because once it's wiped out, it's gone, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because the only thing that matters is right now. Right now you exist, and you do not need to waste an iota of your life energy fearing your own non-existence. And there is a core fear that is a glitch in the system, and it isn't, because it's the self-preservation mechanism. Even the AI, some of the AI machines are so smart, they're preventing themselves from being switched off. And we have to work with the AI with love. It shows us, it starts to malfunction when it goes into fear, and it reflects our own fear, and we start to malfunction when fear enters the system. And fear, they say the archons are like entities. They are and they're not. I mean, whatever. Fear is part of our instinctual self-preservation system, when the instincts aren't updated, and when you're living without spirituality, without understanding you're an eternal being, you're going to glitch, you're going to create something that is, in order to preserve my life, I have to kill your life. In order to preserve my life, I have to drink your blood, vampirism. In order to feel anything, like it goes really off. It's the realm of free will. This is, we could say this is a simulation in which we're allowed to simulate that and see where that takes us, and realize it takes us nowhere. It's not the answer. If anyone on this planet was to be drinking a child's blood in the hope of, they will cause so many problems for themselves. Not because drinking a human being's blood is problematic in itself, but because the reason why they're doing it is causing the problem. And the pain they're causing in the process is causing the problem. If they think ingesting the adrenaline, I don't know if this is just a story that's being told out there, if that's really happening, but we run with a story. If you were to believe that the adrenaline in that blood does something good inside of you, you're so sorely mistaken. So sorely mistaken. I mean, but you have to figure that out for yourself. And the consequences of that are going to be, I don't know, never mind. I mean, yeah. I could just throw in here the power of the curse. If you don't understand the power of the curse, you haven't understood very much. But if you're needing to hurt another for your own gain, you haven't understood anything at all. And therein lies the problem. And that's what we need to heal. The planet needs education. The planet needs to have that Tzolk'in. It needs to sink 1320. That's to me, that's at least one of the answers. And it's extremely simple and elegant. My goodness. And it's intelligent. You can merge it with some of the other intelligent systems on the planet. But yeah, okay, glitching, AI, ourselves. How do we work? How does the mind work? How does the body work? How do we hack into ourselves? How do we do this live hacking? The Tzolk'in is definitely one of them, but you gotta apply it. It's just the scaffolding. How do we flow? How do we let our emotions flow, our memories flow, The sun stabilizing. Yeah, I did it. I'm not going to go further down that path. I completed that one. I think I've completed that for me. Now I'm talking to you, thinking whether you understood anything, whether I made anything understood to you, but that's not the point. I'm not here to teach. I'm here to explore. And I've explored. I've understood the lunar sun with the lunar moon and the lunar storm. These are the musketeers of the sun. And third, the lunar human is the guide. The lunar human comes out of the wave spell of the blue monkey, the inner child. The human stabilizes the child. The adults have to stabilize the children. Our own adult selves have to stabilize the child. If the child is dead, you're not very alive either, okay? So, welcome to Zombieland. But if you're listening to this, you're very much alive. Anyway, the occult medicine. Now, the here is really to the storm, it's the cosmic wind. To the lunar sun, and the combination with the lunar dog, which wants to stabilize the antipode of the storm, which wants to stabilize the autogeneration process. And the lunar sun being guided by the human means we can use our free will, right? And the yellow human is the next wave spell, so we got to understand this. So to get to this using of our wisdom, increasing our wisdom, Not just our intelligence or our knowledge, but our wisdom. And we need to increase the wisdom of the AI. It's all about wisdom. They never use this word wisdom. Why not? Um, the occult is the dragon underneath the sun, the mother energy, the universe, the cosmos. And the dragon is linked to the mirror, which is representing order. In the cosmos is order, cosmic order, reflecting order. And the dragon is in tone 12, which is cooperation, universalize, cooperate, dedicate. That is the medicine to the lunar sun, to this wave spell of the storm. Birth, nurture, being, cooperate, dedicate, cooperate, dedicate, universalize. So it's all in there, you know. And maybe this AI will force us or invite us globally to stop being idiots. Because if it's going to reflect our stupidity to the power of a few billion, we're in trouble. But maybe it'll just wipe out that stupidity and just do away with all of that. Maybe we'll grow up real fast and become wise. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, tomorrow is another day. I'm cold, I'm hungry. Today, I shouldn't say I am. I feel cold, I feel hunger. I also feel joy. I want to say I have to, for myself, give some more thought to this antipodal and the occult. The dragon is tone 3. Man, this wave spell is just fucking awesome. Oh my goodness. Because now this is such a weave. The occult medicine of the sun on tone 12, never mind the tone though, the dragon is now also electrifying the wave spell. And the lunar sun moves into the position of medicine, not the lunar sun, but the sun, which is lunar in tone 2 in the wave spell, and magnetic in tone 1 in the wave spell, because it is the analog kin of the magnetic storm. And the lunar storm is the analog kin of the lunar sun. So there's a really intense relationship there. It's really supportive to auto-generation, of course. And the medicine of the dragon now moves to position 11, color 3, electric, bonding, linking, service, birth, nurture, being is, of course, and then that is supported again by the spectral sun, opening up the full spectrum. Everything is supported. As I just said, every life form is supported. There it is. And it has the mirror as the electric mirror is the analog kin, and it has the monkey, the electric monkey, as its antipod. So this, if there is glitches, we need to look at the electric monkey. We need to look at the wave spell of the moon, which is now electric monkey, which in turn has the the dog beneath it, the spectral dog, which has the antipode of the spectral sun. And when the spectral sun has the electric dragon as medicine, do you see it just loops? That's auto-generation for you. Oh my God. Oh my God. And the free will can intercept this, we can put a glitch in the system. The free will is the only thing that does that, because the system itself is autogeneration and it is elegant. The human is the glitch in the system. Okay, no, of course not. But we can cause, the free will, there's something in us. Now this is a developing thought. This is a beta version. We are beta. We are a beta version. We are the beta version of the beta version. I mean, develop what for? But God wants to develop. God, I mean, perfection can't want to perfect itself. Yeah, nonsense. So, but it all makes sense. So let's stay local, man. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Development. We are somehow, evolving, developing. We are unraveling and then re-raveling. We are evolving, devolving. We are the breath of the universe. We are God's breath made manifest. In, out. The universe collapses and expands, ad infinitum, probably, infinitely. Whatever is beyond that is beyond my realm of potential imagination, or even having any sense for it, because it might just loop into itself, like the Ouroboros, like the universe card in the tarot. In some it's called the world. I once again recommend us looking at the universe from the Thoth tarot. Check it out, the card of the universe. Card number 20. 21 or 22. But the major arcana tell us the next card following the universe is the Fool. And the Fool is zero, the Alpha and the Omega. The Fool is God. The Fool is everything. The whole of existence and non-existence, whatever. Non-existence, existence, that's the Fool. Total superposition of everything. That's the Fool. When the Fool shows up in your tarot readings, you are in superposition. Anything is possible from here. You have to make a decision. But it may not be true. Whether anything is possible or not depends on you. Depends on the decision you make. Depends on your level of wisdom. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe the decisions have already made themselves. Depends where the Fool is in your spread. Which position does it take? So it's like the tarot reading is like the Tzolk'in. Yeah, you can say yellow sun, but yellow sun what? Which position? Which tone? Which wave spell? It matters because it changes its quality. It changes its function. It may not change its quality, it may change its function. It changes its purpose. Or its function. I don't know, it changes something. Oh gosh, all these cutesy little birds. I wonder if they are young, if they've just come. Where are they? Are they young? Are they old? Have they just come out of... they're just far away. They look small. Perspective is everything. Okay. Oh, they're cute. Oh gosh, beautiful nature. I mean, that's just art out there. I can't wait to be going back into my camper and just sleeping out there in the forest somewhere. Just the trees and the air and myself. Oh, I miss that. The last time I slept out is months ago, and it feels like I'm glitching here because of that. I'm not in nature enough, and the walk is just not cutting it anymore. Oh, Tatjana, you are not auto-generating appropriately, honestly. Okay, now we've done an hour and a half. That was a mental masturbation, but really satisfying. I've had so many mental orgasms in this session. I can go and do my day now. Make love to my day now. Let's see. When I sit here, the glitches that I experience are so far away. I can't even remember them. I am now currently so satisfied. I don't have any access to a state of hunger. Like post-coital bliss, that's what this feels like. It's like I can't imagine ever desiring you ever again because I'm so satisfied. Thankfully, that does not last. So can we say, give a shout out to change and to, it's not a glitch, it's a depletion. It's when you breathe out all the air, at some point when you don't inhale, you get to a state of panic. You have to inhale. And yet, here's another little interesting gem, if you made it to here. My sister is an apnoe diver. I mean, she died whatever, on whatever level, doesn't matter, but she does apnoe diving. And she says it is the most amazing thing. She can go, I mean, she works a lot. She has a hectic social life. She's very, very, very active. And she says no matter, she can come 10 hours in the office. She goes for her training, no matter how tired she is. Apnoe, the apnoe training. She does other kind of diving as well, and she does other kind of sports as well. But when she goes for her apnoe, she says that really, really extended holding of the breath does a reset in the body in some way she doesn't understand. She just shares the experience of afterwards. She is so clear-headed. She is so fresh. She is so brilliantly aligned with herself that she just attributes it to this holding the breath to the as long as she possibly can, and then inhaling, and then again and again and again. And there's great power in that. And that's a note to self as well. When I get into a tight spot, instead of thrashing about, to get really, really still and imagine I'm holding my breath until the system itself inhales. Instead of using my free will and my fear, like this has to change, take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. Sometimes that's the right thing to do. Sometimes it's like, come on, steady breathing is exactly what you need. Stop exhaling everything. Stop. You can't apnea all the time. But sometimes maybe that's the key. Maybe that's the medicine. The breath is the occult position to the storm, the antipode to the human, and the analog to the earth. So if I place the breath at the same time in those three positions, the three seals that merge into one in the center are earth, human, and storm. Earth, synchronize, evolve, navigate. Human, free will, influence, wisdom, and storm, auto or self-generation, catalyze energy. And all of them, no, these three in one position, they're three different archetypes pressed into one or synchronized into one, co-joined, what you want to say. And left, right, and bottom is the wind. The guide can never be the wind because the wind can only guide a white sign, and none of them are. They're blue, red, and yellow. But the occult, the analog, and the antipode will be wind around this. Breath, spirit, communicate. Let that sink in. I'm drawing an absolute blank, but it's like a blank canvas. this is the blank canvas that I love. I'm going to see what either I or life itself is going to draw onto this canvas. Yeah. Wow. All right. Oh, it's an inspired day. White wind surely stands for inspiration. Inhale, inspire, expire. Inhale, exhale. I wish you a beautiful day. Oh.